Hi, my name's Jan. I'm from Canada. I live in Germany at the moment, but I was also born in Germany, so I'm kind of a man of both worlds. And yeah, I've been doing basically self-development work for the last 4.5, 5 years. A lot with the way of the heart and that type of thing. And yeah, this is my first time at Spirit Vine, and my second time doing ayahuasca. The first time was quite an unpleasant experience. I was in Amsterdam, I was with a group of friends, and a guy who said he was an experienced person, at the very least, maybe not a shaman, but an experienced person, was the facilitator of the group. And he had a very, very bad energy about him, and I did not feel safe. I had rented the apartment that we were doing the ayahuasca in. I could hear my neighbors upstairs, I could hear my neighbors downstairs. I was in a city. There was many, many things that was wrong with it. But I could tell that the ayahuasca was working. I felt my mind expanding. I felt like it was a positive thing that I wanted to do again, but in the right circumstances, in where the plant was grown, with the right facilitators, with truly experienced people. And so when my friend Jess, who is down here as well, decided to do ayahuasca and she asked me to come, I said yes. And I cannot be happier about that decision. My first night was, I could feel the tension building, I could feel the energy building, and of course I was nervous before doing it for the first time, which I think is natural. But the experience I had was mind-blowing. It was amazing. It started off with the typical stories that you hear, the kaleidoscopes, the different visuals that could happen. But then I really got into a conversation with, I'm just going to call her Mother Ayahuasca, and it's really a dance. It's a conversation that you have with her, and you talk about, and it's the best way I can describe it is that I basically got split into 7 different pieces, and I was able to analyze and dive into each separate piece, while at the same time I could see my ego floating around as a separate entity that would expand and contract according to how I was dealing with each situation. And as long as I surrendered, as long as I gave in to the process, I was able to continue the conversation. The information came quite quickly. I was completely overwhelmed at times, at which point I called the facilitators over, and they were able to ground me again. But there were times where I lost track of all physical reality. And I was in, I would have to say, another dimension, where I could dive into these parts of myself, and I could really dive into these separate worlds that was all attributed to me. They were all parts of me, which was absolutely incredible. And as long as the ego, when the ego got too big, I actually literally took a hammer and a chisel, and I would bring it back down to size. And then as I could feel myself coming back to physical reality, it felt like I was putting pieces of myself back together into physical form. And I was able to pick and choose how I wanted these pieces, like jealousy, for instance. Jealousy is needed to be in a relationship, and it's a part of fear, but fear is also part of the human experience. And it really let me analyze these different parts of myself, and like a brick wall, reassembling myself back together. and at times completely overwhelming and nauseous, and I vomited a few times. I almost don't remember vomiting. Luckily the facilitators were amazing. They were very, very helpful. And yeah, after that experience, I was so overwhelmed that I almost didn't want to do it the second night. At Spirit Vine, we do it 4 times. I almost didn't want to do it the second night just because it was so overwhelming, but fear is not a reason not to do something again. And we're here on a beach before the day of our third trip, our third learning experience. And yeah, I'm very much looking forward to it now. And yesterday we had a daytime ceremony, which was fantastic. Took half a dose and we just spent the first hour in the temple, and then we were allowed to go out into nature and really connect. I spent most of it just walking around and being mindful of every single movement and everything that I touched and everything. And it was very much feeling based. I was very in my own body. I was very just aware of how everything felt and the energy that would move through the plants into me and the other way around. It was just a very, very pleasant and gentle journey. It was fantastic. It didn't last very long, so I got quite hungry by midday. But thankfully, the facilitators here they hooked us up and had a couple of snacks before dinner and that type of thing. It was an amazing experience. Very, very thankful. Very thankful to the facilitators here, and very thankful to just being able to do this work and having these realizations and getting this information. The food here, which has set us up for these different experiences, has really been very cleansing. This is the first time I've ever been on a semi-vegan diet. I get eggs and that type of thing, but all the food is locally grown. It's all organic, and I mean, I feel like I've lost a few pounds, but that's to be expected when you change your diet and you enter this type of thing. And yeah, and I have to say the support, the facilities, the natural surroundings here, being in a place where the vine actually grows is very, very important to me, and I think has very much had an impact on my experience. And again, just feeling very thankful to what I've been able to do here.